We basically get a two-time final girl in this movie because the movie opens up with Jason killing a bunch of people and then her getting cryogenically frozen, and then she's like the final girl of the movie, but she was the final girl in that scene. Everybody else dies, she's the only one that lives. And then she wakes up hundreds of years later and she survives Jason again. It's just her, a android, and the android's boyfriend. Was not a huge fan of this movie. It feels too goofy to be a Jason Voorhees movie. I'm not a fan of the Friday the 13th franchise to begin with, but this one's got a lot of corny jokes, a lot of bad dialogue, and just weird decisions. When Jason is unfrozen, they have this line where they're like, "What's that on his face? It's a hockey mask." What's hockey? It's a sport that was banned in 2024. Well, in case you didn't know, hockey's not banned and it's almost 2026. I I get that they can't see into the future, but 2024 was only a little over 20 years after this movie was released, which is another thing that I find bizarre is that we had a Jason movie in 2001. I don't really count Freddy versus Jason. It's a crossover movie. Crossovers are going to make money, and they had already been trying to do it since a different movie. Um, and they just couldn't figure out the script. I never count crossover movies. When I think of the Predator series, I don't think of Alien versus Predator. I just think of the Predator movies. But anyway, all the characters are pretty generic. A lot of them are horny, including like a a college guy that's fucking one of his students, and yeah, that's gross. And it's supposed to be comedic because the scene ends with him going, "You pass," and it's just okay. There's a lot of cool kills in this movie, though. If you're, here for kills, you'll love it. Um, the thing on the poster, his mask, though it is half and half, his hockey mask is his mask for the majority of the movie. His new mask doesn't appear until I believe there's only like 20 minutes left in the movie. So I was very surprised about that. I know a lot of people love this mask and a lot of people hate this mask. I was really indifferent on it because, like I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of the Friday the 13th movies. But he basically gets obliterated. He gets his head, arm, and leg shot off, and on top of that, gets shot in the chest and his own machete stabbed into his chest by the android because he had stabbed her in the chest earlier. Um, for whatever reason, they decide to leave him on the thing that like heals people. So of course, like it accidentally gets booted up and heals him, and then he gets like a new mask, and his eyes turn red. There's some dumb joke where they do a hologram to distract him, and there's like two sexy teens that want to drink and smoke and stuff, and um, he kills them with his classic, little bed thing, sleeping bag kill. It's kind of funny. They fight him off. Two more characters die. Um, one of them has, "Oh my god, this sucks," and it's kind of a corny but also a cool line, in my opinion. And then he's defeated by one of the generals that almost died earlier, and also had a bit of a corny line that I kind of like too, where he gets like stabbed in the back, and he's like, "It's gonna take a lot more than that to kill me," and then he gets stabbed with a spike a second time, and he's like, "Yep, that'll do it." It's goofy, but it's cool. He was probably my favorite character of the movie. I'm kind of sad that he ends up dying to kill Jason. Um, then the movie just kind of ends with like them going to like Earth, Jason and the lieutenant. I mean, and it kind of hints that he might still be alive because they want to go check out the shooting star. Um, it was a fine movie. Not a huge fan of it, but I'm not a huge fan of really any of the Friday the 13th movies.